Right. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, whenever you decide to watch this hot mess. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite movies. Came out in 1987, Masters of the Universe. That was based off of a cartoon that was based off of a toy line. You know those 30-minute cartoons, aka commercials that we all used to watch. GI Joe, Thundercats, He-Man, Ninja Turtles, and the line goes further down the road. Hell, they still do it. I don't know what the modern cartoon nonsense look like, but they're still making toys off of it. 1987 was an interesting year for movies. At least some of the movies I remember. This movie had Courtney Cox, who this is her second movie ever. It had Dolph whatever you say his
Dolph
last
Lundgren
Lundgren. You had Frank something with the last name I can't pronounce, and a
and
bunch of other
Skeletor.
people. Yeah, Skeletor. How did they get that classically trained actor to put on some bad makeup? That's what I want to know.
Well, you know what though is let's be honest, is you can hide behind the makeup and you can go hog wild. In fact, I think he said it was one of his most fun things is because
Yeah,
he
he
was allowed to
wanted
do
to
whatever
do
he
a
wanted.
sequel.
Yeah, that's why whenever people like, you want to be the good guy? I said, look, if you're gonna ever be an actor, you always want to play the bad guy because you can go so over the top, like with Gary Oldman in The Professional.
Right. Oh man, I the soundtrack is what got me with this movie. Most of it, so the music, because at the same time you had Superman and Star Wars. I think they're all conducted by the same guy, John
John
I,
Williams.
I
Williams.
think we're going to be watching the other movie that used the soundtrack, Star Trek 4.
Oh. I mean, was it? Yeah, Superman, Star Trek, not Star Trek. Oh, maybe Star Trek, Star
Um,
Wars.
Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff.
this was the era of still pretty epic soundtracks. I mean, any more back, even into the '90s, most of these movies we enjoyed only were that good because the soundtracks were that good.
Well, you know what though is if you look at a lot of the no, there's been good soundtracks for a lot. That said is the the one that we watched before, which is still a great soundtrack, is the Lost Boys.
No,
Oh
I
yeah,
think the soundtrack from this movie is literally lifted from,
Oh, really? Okay.
if I
it
remember correctly, it's lifted from one of the Star Treks.
it could be. It's Hollywood. I wouldn't be surprised. And Crafty Gamer says hi. So
Hey,
I
Hello?
think, like I said, I picked this movie out because I remember enjoying the hell out. This was like the third movie I remember seeing as a kid. I mean,
Mhm.
Aliens, this one, and Blue Lagoon. But I was way too young to watch Blue Lagoon.
Did you ever see the Goonies?
Yeah. But that wasn't until later.
Okay, because that seems
Um,
that was about the same time frame.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, what did y'all start with, Justin? What did you think of this movie?
It's decent. I liked it. The Earth part was boring.
Earth Purpose. Okay.
It's a joke because it's the whole movie.
Yeah, it was the entire movie. I'm like, wait. Well, no, yeah, more or less. All right, Mark.
Uh, I thought it was okay. I mean, it was I don't know, it was a B movie that I don't know, was released as a A-list type movie. I don't know. And I think I don't know, it didn't seem like there was enough He-Man in the movie for me. I don't know if they just it didn't work and it got cut and cut and cut or what happened, but I don't know, it just kind of seemed like He-Man was like almost a secondary character in the movie to me.
Hmm,
Yeah. From what I understand, this movie killed canon. Like, the budget just kept ballooning
Okay.
so much that it actually killed
The studio.
the production company, the
Mhm.
Okay.
studio.
I mean, yeah, I can see it. Omen.
I'm glad I missed this in the 1980s because I wanted less Earth and more, Interstellar. To me, if it's between this and Kroll, go for Kroll 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the thing is not that I was a huge He-Man because there's certain things that always bugged me about it, but
Oh, there's a lot of stuff that bugs me about He-Man. But anyways,
but yeah. So you have that. I think Dolph Lundgren did a fine job. I think
He was
that
perfect.
the guy who did Skeletor did a good job. That whole weird Courtney Cox, her boyfriend crap. That's why I was like, yeah, this is why I miss it. This is why I didn't want to go see it when it came out. To be fair, though, I was 14 when that came out. I just wanted cool stuff. I'll be honest, some of the things that they did, I think they actually did a fairly good job for. I just would have preferred them to do it out in, if they just stayed in Eternia more than anything else. I don't. Nothing wrong with Courtney Cox. I didn't even know she was in the film until I watched it. I was like, wow. And you can see in how round face she is, and young, and like there's like still the baby fat on her face. So, oh wow. But yeah, I would have much preferred if they just stayed over in Hollywood or wherever they were making movies at the time. Toronto or wherever they were doing it.
Toronto.
And I don't know if they were doing that in 1987. Is the point?
No, Canon was a Canadian company.
Okay, if they just stayed out there and they had done stuff more of that, and done, like I said, if it had been more like a Dark Crystal or a Krull, I would have felt a little bit better. I'm not saying you have to have fantastic sets, but you already have the set built for some of these things. I would have rather stuff just gone around there. So that's my feeling on it. I can't really recommend it, but I can't say it's not nearly as bad as I expected.
well, there's a recommendation all by itself. That movie came out. I remember I saw the cartoon, and you're going to talk about the setting of where they filmed it. It wasn't so much that they went to Earth, because technically in the lore, He-Man is half human. So whatever. And they're going to film a movie that people are going to want to see things that they recognize. The detective from Back to the Future was in this, the bald guy. And it was Canon Films. I mean, they weren't exactly known for masterpieces. So
that's Vince Strickland to you.
I'm going to mention, if we're going to talk about that, and I had to laugh, New Line Cinema, which was really off, which was known for having the worst movies, and yet that was the one I think that they did for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
and that surprised the hell out of me. But that was like apparently they had reached the epitome at that point. But before it was like, oh, the stuff this was right up there with all the stuff that New Line Cinema did before.
Yeah, and the thing that New Line is famous for, which is not paying people, because a lot of the people that were in Lord of the Rings, I mean the main cast, are still getting their principal payments. Not even their royalties; they're still getting their principal payments.
Oh, really? You mean the residuals?
No.
The different.
No,
really?
the actual paychecks that they were supposed to get 20 years ago. They're still getting installments on those because they weren't paid.
Damn.
Canon was really famous for stiffing people and stuff like that. So, and that's one of the reasons trying to get the money together for this, all that came out, and that's what killed the studio. They got an audit and shit like that.
Canon also do oh god, what was a horrible dance movie? I mean, all those Van Damme movies.
They did RoboCop. They did there's a lot of things that should have.
They were very much an 80s studio. Yeah.
And I really hope that
Turtles, I think, was on that in that library of as well. Ninja Turtles is not sci-fi enough. Damn it. I was thinking about. I was like, we might have to. No, we can't.
Unless it has robots. I know that the cartoon does. I don't know about the.
The movies don't. The movies don't.
The new one, the new series kind of did with.
We can watch 3.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
no, I'm going to bring this up. There's nothing stopping any of us from watching whatever films we want. It's just that's not the promise of whatever's going on.
It's sci-fi. There's mutant. All right, I actually, took some time and tried to figure out some questions for this episode because this
Oh, Christy Fields. That's all I care about. What was that her name?
yeah.
Who was that? Tila?
Yeah, Tila.
You
Chelsea Field.
were any of you guys actually into He-Man at all? I
watched it as a kid.
So
there was 2 in this movie.
So apparently, and I could be wrong on this. Apparently, the He-Man toy line was supposed to come out for Conan the Barbarian.
But the people at Mattel was like, "Whoa, no!"
Well, they didn't realize on how bad it was going to be, so then they had to change it up. And so the first time I saw He-Man, to be fair, was 82 or 83, and I think that's right before they had the Funimation cartoons and stuff.
83 is when the cartoon came out.
What's that?
83 is when the cartoon came out.
So anyway, all I did was read the back of it, which I thought was kind of cool, and I liked it. I think I had Beastman, and the toys were actually pretty cool. But then I saw the cartoon, and I'm like, anyway.
Yeah, they genericized it for the cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing they changed about the Conan or toy was the hair color.
Well, yeah, but that was intentional, so it couldn't quite be related. But I mean, when you look at, come on, he didn't have the what was his giant cat?
Cringer.
No, Cringer was his other version, but it was what, Battle Cat?
Yeah.
Yeah. The original toy was like, I mean, that was pretty awesome having that. That's what I wanted to do. The toys were much better than the cartoon.
Yes.
So
the toy and the toy lore were better than the cartoon.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I have to give, even though it's the most epic playset, Castle Grayskull has to get a 0 in quality of toys because parts of it were cardboard. And everybody knows cardboard toys are shit.
I will get into that here in a second because I had one of the Castle Grayskull, and it was basically the variation I got of it because I don't know how many variations of the damn thing that they made.
The floors were cardboard.
Yeah, the floors were.
That, but it was basically a suitcase for your He-Man toys. That's all it was.
Yeah,
that's what I remember it being.
Well, but you know what? It was kind of cool looking at it and all the stuff. You know.
So, how does the film compare to the original material, the He-Man, the He-Man, the cartoon, and toys line? Do you guys remember any of the toys from this movie?
From the movie or from just the plain Mattel?
The movie. Was there any toys or anything from this movie?
I don't think there were movie-specific versions of the toys.
I don't think there were movie-specific. I think part of it is that this was one of those things that Mattel was using to promote selling their own toy line. And so they gave the rights to. I think that's how that works.
I think
it's just like the cartoons, like every so often, like the ones, to be fair, that Justin was talking about was the cartoon going from the 2000s, and now the most recent were for Mattel to really sell those He-Man toys.
Yeah, the early 2000 He-Man out of the
cartoons, yeah,
generations of the He-Man
is the best one.
What is the best one? Yeah.
I've watched bits and pieces. I'm not sure I can sit and watch the whole thing, but what I've watched actually makes it better. So I was like, okay.
Same here. The story has continuity. That's the
pilot was on point.
Yeah, the pilot.
That I've seen.
I watched the first 2 episodes. That's all I've watched so far. I was like, okay. And but I went back. To be fair, we're talking about all these things, and I almost want to change my movie because I saw the Flash Gordon cartoon from the 1980s also. Yeah, but no, I watched the Flash Gordon cartoons from the 90s. A lot of the cartoons for their time were okay. I think the problem that I had with the Funimation cartoon was that it was just so over the top, goody two shoes, rather than being a little bit more edgy. The
lessons of morals at the end of every episode.
Well, they did it with G.I. Joe, but still, I still enjoyed G.I. Joe.
Thundercats and Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but I
Well,
enjoyed
that
those.
was
But I wanted a
actually
little bit more edgy. Is the kind of thing.
Yeah.
that was actually brought in because one of the first standard restrictions they had was to make every episode educational
Yeah, yeah.
because you know
And they aren't allowed to allow the villains to win. There's like there were a lot of like comic.
Maybe that's
no
what.
no no that was combating the this is just a commercial for your toys
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
I-
yeah.
I think that might be what's wrong with me because now I like reading books or watching shows where the villain kind of gets away with it.
I'm okay with. Well, my whole point is that I don't mind it, but I like competent villains.
Yeah,
That's what it really comes down to. It's like, I always hated it. Oh, it's so dangerous to go into his lair or whatever. Which, to be fair, this villain for Skeletor was
Yeah.
actually a fairly competent
Yeah.
villain.
the only thing and we'll talk about that here shortly. But the only thing
I don't care what. Sorry, I don't care what anyone says. Hardak was a better villain. I don't care that Shiro was the one that fought him. He was a better villain.
No, I meant in this versus the cartoon. For the 80s.
Shiro was a cartoon in the 80s, bro.
No, I understand, but
she didn't get her own movie.
No, she got a better villain though.
but no, I meant for the He-Man, the cartoon versus
Yeah.
the movie. I think Skeletor did a better job. They were allowed to do it because those cartoons at the time they wanted to make them like G, whereas this was allowed to do a PG.
I
Was
even
it
like
PG or PG-13?
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Which one was it?
PG.
PG or PG?
It was
This
rated
one's
PG.
PG.
I was surprised. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, was it G?
No,
PG.
he said PG.
PG. Okay, I'm like, if this was G, I'm like, holy shit. Those
No,
are standard.
it definitely could have used some boob.
You had a halfway. Well, she was fairly attractive woman in a tracksuit. I mean, with a metal thong up her ass. That's about as much boob as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
From a
Are you
movie.
talking about Evil Lynn?
No, just talking-
Tila.
Oh,
Tila.
Sheila.
No. Tila.
You're talking about a movie that was made, made for kids in the 80s. So
But
there's
it
only
was canon.
so much.
It was canon. I think this is the only film they ever produced that doesn't have boob in it.
I don't know. I don't know. So going back to the Skeletor, I want to talk about that. The only complaint I have about Skeletor, and you guys might have other issues, was just the makeup. That was the only complaint I really had. I don't mind the fight seats. The in-fight scene was horrible. I don't mind. I wish he would have acted it up a little bit more, just the lines to be more like the cartoon, hamming up just a tad bit more.
Yeah.
But I don't think the actor had the ability to do that.
No.
In
He
the
said
helmet?
He did. If you like, I was reading through the trivia. He said that was one of his favorite things. Is they allowed him to really do it, but that's the problem with a lot of it is the makeup just wasn't convincing enough for the time.
I liked the design, especially the teeth were perfect. You notice the teeth in
Oh, the
Skeletor?
teeth
Yeah.
were great.
The teeth were brilliant, and the fact that he could talk so clearly with them. But I don't know if you guys watched a 4K version of it, but you could see the mouth, like especially in Wiltor, but even in Skeletor, you could see the mouth like painted black underneath.
Well, and the eye sockets, yeah.
The eye sockets, but like you could see the lips moving underneath the lips.
Sure, of course. Well, but you know what though? Sometimes I'm willing to forgive some of those things.
Yeah. Also, it's an '80s production. You weren't expected to be able to see that even on a
I
screen. But
does this movie in a lot of ways hold up today? And in some directions, yes. In a lot of other directions, no.
Yeah, but you can forgive the technology levels.
Right.
I like the design of Skeletor. It's just it wasn't flexible enough to move with his face, and the parts that should be hard were the same, stiffness as parts that should have moved.
Right.
smoothly.
But going from Skeletor, let's hop over.
Hi, Ominow. Hi, Ominow.
I was gonna say, let's open up. Who were some of your favorite characters? I mean, did you have favorite characters in this one, or is it just a one-man show like most of the movies we've seen here lately? Justin?
I really liked the part of Tom Paris, played by whatever the fuck that guy's name is. He's the only character you really follow in the movie. So
Which one are you referring to?
the boyfriend.
Oh, the boyfriend. Oh, okay.
He's just Tom Paris. I don't care what movie or show it is. He's always going to be the pilot from Voyager.
It took me a hot minute to actually recognize that was him because he's so young in this film.
Yes, but he's looked the exact same for the last 80 years.
Oh, if we could only have all that ability.
Hey, I don't go out like Sean Connery, just stop aging in my mid-40s and have it all crap on me all at once.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Ominow?
Oh, for the characters? I mean,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the. I mean, I didn't mind the detective, and
Yeah.
I did enjoy Skeletor for when he was there.
Skeletor.
You know what though is, of course, I would love him to go even more over the top. But to be fair, he did a fairly good job for what he had, and by my understanding, they allowed him to do with whatever he wanted. It's just, I would have enjoyed more Skeletor. I would have enjoyed more.
Yes.
You know,
He-Man.
that really, I would have. Like I said, I didn't like the Earth part. I would have been just happy if they were running around in the woods trying to evade Skeletor. You know, that would have been. I would have been quite happy with that. I will say though, is when they do his, when they bring him into Earth. That was really. I was like, wow, they actually went out for this, you know.
Yeah. When they do the invasion part,
Yep.
that could have been like an extra 10 minutes.
Well, no. I mean, but I meant for what they did with all the set
Yeah.
and everything. They did a good job for that. But
Mhm.
I would have been quite happy if they just did it in a forest or something instead. And, you know,
Mhm.
with a little bit more blue screen or something.
Well,
The
I
guy
don't think they really had that. I like that it was gutsy enough to do inside of a city. Most people save the money by doing the forest, but yeah.
I just didn't like it modern Earth. That's all.
If that had been the beginning segment of the movie and the taking of Castle Grayskull had been the midpoint, I think it would have been a better story.
Yeah, I would love to see them, you know, because there's all the other characters in that universe that just weren't shown, and probably for financial reasons. I
Yeah.
mean, I would have been cool if they would have brought out Fisto. So
Yeah, that's why
That's
I think
the X-rated version. That's the uncut X-rated.
I when what was it, Kang Cog, whatever, the lizard guy.
yeah,
Yeah, the first thing that popped into my head when he got disintegrated was, yep, there goes the guy with the most expensive makeup.
next to Skeletor, probably. All right, Mark, who was your favorite characters?
My my favorite character was probably Tila for the reasons we stated earlier.
Tila. Yeah. Technically, my most favorite character is her thong.
What was her name? What is her name?
Christy Fields.
Chelsea Fields.
Chelsea
Chelsea Fields.
yeah.
She is married to Scott, the Quantum Leap guy.
The who?
Bakula? Scott
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Bakula? Lucky bastard.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Justin's saying that, and she's like 60 now. So
Yeah, but I seen recent
Yeah.
pictures of her. She's holding up.
Well, they got married in 2009, so you know it's
Oh,
not
wow.
like. Anyways, I didn't actually care for He-Man,
he
which
was
is weird.
okay. It just wasn't. He was kind of like bland.
Darth
Yeah.
Lumbrum plays the most perfect He-Man that anyone could ever play, but he's always been a bland character, right? Like He-Man's always been the set dressing, not the.
I mean, yeah, no, that's fair.
Now Prince Adam, that's the character.
That's who I wanted to see. Favorite characters. I liked the detective. James Token. I enjoyed most of the stuff he's been in. Him as an actor. Evil Lynn was fun.
She was
Evelyn.
okay. She could have had more. I think. From
Yeah,
it.
Um,
I second that.
the guy who played Master at Arms looked like he belongs to
The-
some like after school special that they just like rented him out for this movie for.
Man at
Yeah.
Arms.
Yeah,
Duncan.
Man at Arms.
Poor
Yeah.
Duncan.
yeah. I don't know. But favorite character is probably the little short guy. The one who made.
Gwildor.
Yeah, I think he's my favorite character.
Now, why do you think they went with that character instead of the guy, the little Orko? What was that guy? Little
Orko.
short
Orko.
guy.
You got it right, Orko.
Same
Cost
species, no?
because Orko had to float.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Gwildor didn't. That's always I can think of. Apparently that's true, but we'll find out.
There was one of that species in Shira, no?
Yeah, a woman version of it, a female version.
I don't
of
know.
it.
I had enough
No, I
problems
think it
with
was
He-Man. I couldn't sit and watch too much She-Ra. That's
Shira. It was all at the same time.
All right. So we had the high school, we had downtown, we had a couple houses, and the most disappointing place, Greystone. Which of them did you guys?
Greystone.
Greystone
Grayskull.
was so
Greystone.
disappointing.
Gray Skull.
It's Grayskull.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greystone. I want to see what happened at Greystone.
Right. I have all this scenery. You guys might have different opinions, but I was very much let down rewatching it with Castle Grayskull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The also not Scotia compliant or whatever, whatever that evil villain lair.
well, that was one thing I always have to laugh at is when going through, it's like this is not OSHA compliant.
Yeah.
There's the real villain.
Yeah, it's definitely like, hey, we saw Star Wars. Let's just rip that set off and do it in marble. And the fact that they kill Skeletor the same way.
I can fall into it. I don't know where they filmed the movie at. I have no idea where they filmed at, but whatever small town they filmed at was kind of cool looking. It was, just looked like an average town, but it was nice. Then you get the high school, which looks like an average high school.
This was actually filmed in the U.S. It was probably the backlot in Paramount or whatever.
But like the biggest upset to me was the castle. I'm not saying I want the traditional round skull with 4 towers wrapped around it. I wouldn't complain, but I get you want to do something else. But this one, I don't know. The castle just looked.
Oh, the model for the castle looked a little more high tech than
It should have been.
Yeah, it was just a little too much. The goofy little flaps on the sides or what.
I'll be honest. I thought it was fine because it seemed to match the toy. But I would have liked to have seen more inside of the castle. In other words, instead of just battling in the throne room or whatever, I would have liked them to battle more, different rooms within the castle.
Well, if they would have, okay, hear me out. If they would have actually made that place the castle, the actual castle where King Rigel and all of them, that was a castle, that would have been fine. Whatever. And it had a different building off to the side of the Castle Grayskull, but you never went in it because in the cartoons, none of the, I'm not saying all the cartoons, but it was very rare He-Man actually went into the Castle Grayskull. So I think they had potential there that they just didn't know what to do with.
Well, I think, like he was talking about, is you have a certain limitation on budget, for this. Like I says, I would have much preferred them to be in their futuristic city, which is what they kind of did at the beginning, with Gwildor.
Yeah.
And I wish that they had just stayed in Eternia and gotten rid of Courtney Cox and her boyfriend, and just gone through the whole thing, and I would have been quite happy. But instead, it felt like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles without the cool turtles. So
now I think if you were to rewrite it where there was like a cold opening where Gwildor found himself on Earth and he got caught up with Courtney Cox and Tom Paris, and then Skeletor was chasing them, and then that's where He-Man comes into it to rescue Gwildor, and then they end up on Eternia, like I was saying earlier. That was the first 15 minutes of the film instead of the middle 2/3 or whatever.
I think if they'd used the Dark Crystal sets, I would have been quite happy.
Yeah, well, those are puppet sets, but I'm pretty sure there were plenty of castle backdrops, because it says on IMDb it was filmed in California, so I'm assuming it's a studio lot because there was like no one on the streets and it was very pristine, so it was probably a filming set. Probably the same one they filmed Buffy on, for fuck's sakes. Like 10 years later. So
No. The Buffy came out 5 years later.
97.
92.
No, the TV series.
I know, I'm teasing you.
Yeah.
Or 91.
It's got that Sunnydale vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, even the movies, it's probably the same fucking set or a lot. So they probably had a bunch of castle sets in one of the studio buildings that they could have fucking pulled out and filmed on.
Hey, they could have done it from what was that one with the one that
Westworld.
Remember when they had the castle one?
Yeah, it was in the movie. Yeah, that has robots. I don't know. I'm like.
Yes, but if we're doing Westworld, I'm not showing up that week.
No. We already did Westworld. We can't redo the same one.
I don't know about you guys, man.
But no, going to the scenery, I would like them to. I don't want them to, but I kind of do. I want them, just for the scenery alone, I want them just to redo this film. Because like Game of Thrones, there's been other shows using Game of Thrones as used as reference. There are places in the world, Lord of the Rings, for another example, where they've just filmed in different locations, so to give it more of a aesthetic look than, hey, we're just going to paint we're going to lay down some paper with some drawings on it, sort of like it was a Death Race 2000, where the background was just painting artwork of some kind.
Not painting.
Yeah.
Well, but they did that also for Ben-Hur. If you actually look at some of the stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring up something else. Why do they have to make it? Well, to be fair, Kevin Smith already killed it. But why does everything have to be live action? I don't care for live action at a certain point.
No. This was a good live action movie. Especially for
compared to the original source, this was great live.
Especially for Miss Fields or whatever.
But this whole idea that we have to keep on turning cartoons into live action, you know what? I'm just happy to watch just cool cartoons.
Yeah,
damn it.
But it's nice to see the interpretation with real stuff. Sometimes that can be fun.
I read somewhere that they were thinking about turning, was it a different movie, but the Harry Potter series into a series, but all animated. I'm thinking back in my head, that's a great idea, because there's so much more you can do with them with the cartoons or anime than you can with the live actions. Now, do I want somebody else to take a swing at the He-Man series or Master of the Universe? Not right now. What's done is being,
especially since Kevin Smith's got season 2 of his show coming out.
Kevin Smith is what a poser.
Yeah.
I will be that guy. I will be the guy and say, actually, I did not mind it that terribly.
Yeah, but that's
It's called
because
He-Man.
No, the show's called Masters of the Universe. There was no He-Man in the title.
Yeah, but that's only because they had to cut it out as a bait and switch.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I mean, for what it was, I'm like, whatever.
You need to do like Brian and stop with the butt plugs and ball gags, bro.
Well, there was another He-Man.
Oh,
came
now it's
out.
like my soul has been destroyed.
There was another He-Man cartoon that basically came out.
I have to go over to his house to play games. I don't want to hear these things.
He only wants you over so he can lull you into a false sense of security. Just don't sit down on that chair.
Wait a minute. Get me high on paint fumes and resin. Sorry, go ahead. Anyway, sorry about the cuddle.
He's gonna wake up naked, hogtied, with a ball gag in your mouth.
Pulp Fiction isn't allowed this year. Sorry, cuddle. Go ahead.
How well does the movie encapsulate the essence of the fantasy genre and the Master of the Universe?
It's fantastical, so it's got the genre down. I give it a 3 out of 10 on capturing the universe, maybe a 4.
Neither one.
Well, no, I'll let Mark say this. I don't want to,
Mark.
As far as capturing the overall universe, I'm not the biggest He-Man aficionado, but I know it. I don't know. I think this was probably, and especially from the way it ended when the girl took off, Evil Lynn took off with the other bad guys. I think this was meant to have sequels and all that. Maybe they would have introduced more of because there were a lot more heroes that had all kinds of crazy features and bad guys, like an underwater fish guy and I don't know, a guy with like he had like he was half robot, he had like a crazy jaw.
Iron Jaw, snap.
Yeah.
Was it Trap Jaw?
Trap Jaw.
Yeah. So as far as capturing maybe for the first movie they did okay, but we'll say if we're doing it ratings of 10 as far as catching the essence of the universe, I give it maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10 for the first movie. But I think the thought was this was maybe going to have sequels.
Oh, it definitely was. This movie had a post-credit scene.
Oh, did it? Okay, I got at that. I watched this on Tubi and it cut out, so it didn't. Okay.
Yes,
all right. It did have a post credit scene. Okay, so I didn't even know what happened in the post credit scene now.
When Skeletor falls off the railing, the ledge, you see there's pink water below him, and at the end you see that pink water, and his head comes up, and he says, "I'll be back," which is one of the times this movie steals a line from another film.
Oh, okay. Okay, I don't remember. If because I remember seeing this. So I must have been 13, 14 when it came. I do remember seeing it at the movie theaters, but I don't know if we even knew back then to stay for the post-credit thing. And
no, it was right at the end.
Okay, when I watched this again on Tubi, it cut off. It didn't show that. It cut that out. So, okay.
Yeah, Amazon. It was on Amazon Prime up until this month. Then they took it off Amazon Prime. Like, you fuckers. Now I have to find a different way to watch this movie. Because that's what I was counting on, to be honest, was just turning on Amazon Prime. Because, thank you for Tubi, because that was the only way I was able to actually watch this movie again. As for essence, man, He-Man has so much mythology behind the story has so much mythology behind it, where that one version Skeletor is a demon from a different universe, to Skeletor is the brother of the king,
So
hold on.
This is what you see at the end.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I can play it, but I don't want to get the
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember that. Okay.
No, I mean I don't remember seeing that. I usually look at the end just in case. I'm gonna.
Okay.
You know, the essence is, I think it did a pretty good job of capturing the essence right up until the point they decided to go with the key and go to Earth. At that
Yeah.
point, it just dropped right off the cliff.
Now,
So it went from probably a 7 or an 8 to about a 2.
yeah, I think the key idea in of itself was like, if you're gonna do a series of films, you could have had this be the first one of He-Man trying to find his way back to Eternia with the key, like a freaking Sliders sort of story. And you give it like 3 or 4 of them, and then he gets back home.
I don't know about you guys, but whenever I go through any of these, I want to go to their universe. I don't want them to come to my universe. That's the problem I have with a lot of these.
But
And that was something they did all the time in the 1980s.
They did do. This was a common trope they did. It seems like they played it over again in the 80s. You're right.
Yeah, it was a money saving thing, right?
What was it?
Yeah, right.
Beastmaster, like the second or the third one, he ends up in Los Angeles. I mean,
yeah.
So
that one's almost impossible to find on
the third one.
Yeah, on the pirating streams.
I remember watching it on the VHS because I kind of agree with you on that. Them coming to Earth, I know why they did it. It kind of makes sense for the era of the time they made this film. And the cartoon, at least the old one, Adam did go to Earth once to save Santa Claus, so take that for what that's worth. Then that's the cartoon. So liberties, you gotta give this movie some liberties because the cartoon, basically, took advantage of all the liberties.
Yeah.
I mean,
I actually don't think that. I'm pulling this information from a documentary I watched like a couple of years ago. I don't think they were originally supposed to come to Earth. I think that was part of the, like, they did a lot of rewrites to save money on this. I think that's
pre-made Earth buildings are cheaper than us building.
I don't disagree with that, but there's certain ones that, again, I've looked over at. What was it called? The stuff that they did for. It's one that Shadow always likes. It's the. Darn it. I can't remember the one that we're gonna watch for him, but the it's the Logan's Run. Run. And to be fair, is a lot of the scenes that they show in Logan's Run, I have physically been to, and the same thing for RoboCop,
Detroit,
but, because they're in Dallas Fort Worth. But the I think that they could have done a more of a Logan's Run kind of style, and I think that would have worked better for being inside of Eternia. I think that would have worked out okay in my opinion. And you know what, they used to do some of that even in the old Buck Rogers stuff. If you look from the TV series, I don't mind some matte paintings in the background showing a couple of things for the buildings, and you just do the lower level stuff out there.
There were quite a few matte paintings in this film.
Again, I just don't like.
Every time they were in Eternia.
Yeah, Eternia's fine. I just, like I said, Eternia, in 7 was fine. It's just, it's once they once they come to Earth, and I know why they do it for budget reasons, but that I don't give an excuse for budget reasons. That doesn't make it a great film. That just means that you've gone from what could have been a better film to a worse film.
The Low Guy's house was the best set in the film.
Yeah, and that's probably what killed the freaking budget.
Because it wasn't Castle Greystone.
Skull.
It's got a big skull on it, man.
Yeah, I'll eventually get it. Eventually.
He even owned it. That's what gets me. He even owned the toy.
I won't. Yeah, I was actually trying. One of my buddies could print you out in a 3D version of the Sword of Power. I'm like, no, I'm good.
What was
Uh,
supposed to be in the original is you're supposed to get the two swords and put them together so you could unlock the door or whatever.
yeah.
You know, from
Oh.
Skeletor and He-Man, I think is what they were supposed to combine, and then you could turn the key.
Yeah, yeah. That sounds about right because one was it doesn't matter, but yeah, no, I think that was in the original toy line. He-Man had one half, and
Yeah,
Skeletor had
that's
the other.
right. He did.
And if
He
you bind
did.
them together, the swords go. Yeah. That was some awesome marketing right there. I tell you.
Hey, you know what though? It's back then they only had like 7 characters. It's not like you needed a bunch of them. They had what? The Sorceress, He-Man, Beastman. Um, it's not until they started adding the stuff later and on there. But
Yeah.
I remember having Beastman, Skeletor. I didn't have Skeletor. I had Beastman because I like Beastman better than Skeletor. But yeah, Beastman, Skeletor, He-Man with his Battle Cat, and probably Man at Arms and maybe Tila and the Sorceress. I mean, there weren't a lot of toys out there. But they were kind of bigger toys too. They were bigger than the GI
Oh,
Joe.
They were. I mean,
Yeah.
they were.
They
Good.
were also chonky as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course
they
they were
were.
chunky, but I was okay with them being chunky
Yeah, I had
at
them
the
all.
time.
I mean, they could have turned those toys, leftover toys, into pro wrestler toys. I mean, they were.
Oh, they probably did. They probably just took the resculpts and just changed the heads out because I remember like the Beastman head. I think that it was just soft rubber, so you could
Yeah.
squeeze
Yeah.
his head.
All their heads were soft rubber.
Yeah.
You could squeeze.
God, because if somebody would have chucked one of those toys at somebody, it would have been bad. If it
Well,
wasn't-
Yeah.
I
Well,
think they
they
took
were
the, I
all
think they
pretty-
took the same body plan for all of them, and
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
changed the color for.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah.
They just molded them in color and put different accessories on them.
But I remember Beastman. They actually came like with a little whip that was it was braided with the cord, and it was a cool toy.
And that's why, if I remember correctly, that's why the head is rubber, because it was on the same skew as the vest plate and the sword and all that. So that's why it was that material, because it was the same as they had the straps and crap.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
always killed me about the cartoon, and I noticed this as a kid, was Thundercats and He-Man were damn near the same cartoon.
Yeah, and the same molds for the bodies too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Skeletor was Mom Ra, Leo was He-Man, and so forth. They just didn't do the I don't want to say morphing thing, but the switching.
Oh no.
Mom
My Thundercats had the little trigger on the back of the arm that would give the kung
Yep,
fu grip.
Yeah. Well, the
He-Man
kung fu-
didn't have those all the time. They did sometimes, but not all the time.
They had the
that must
chest
have been the
piece,
later stuff.
the
because I
damaged
thought-
chest piece. That was
Yeah.
But I mean, the little accessory equipment, which is what they, the toys I thought were better than the cartoon, which is like I just killed, we
Yeah.
just ignored the cartoon and we did our own stuff. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't get past the because I had an Adam toy and I had a He-Man toy, right? And it was the furry britches that just killed it for me.
the furry britches.
The furry britches. That was the one thing I did not like about this movie. There was no Adam.
Yeah, no Prince Adam. Yeah, I think that was once again.
You know what though? I never liked the character of Prince Adam.
I
I
think
just don't like his the little whiny thing. I was like, no,
it was overdone.
yeah, it was.
just,
I would, to me, it's much better the way they do Clark Kent and Superman, where it's still him, but it's not. He's pretending to be something he's not. I'm actually a reporter, which he was, but I'm a human being. No, you're not. You're really Superman.
There was a couple scenes in that movie where they could have he could have switched from being He-Man to being Prince Adam, and it might have gone over all right.
Yeah.
I just hate that whole thing. I hate it when you get the magic item, you actually become awesome. I much prefer it when they're like, I'm secretly awesome. I just pretend not.
But the show was all about the magical item. Adam?
Yes, but I think that's the point. Prince Adam played up being like he played up being weak and annoying so people wouldn't think he was He-Man because it was just a change of outfit.
I mean, in the
It
original,
was just a change of outfit.
yeah, in the original cartoon, He-Man was thick. Then when
Yeah.
the 2000s came out, he went from being a scrawny kid to being He-Man. So it wasn't until much later that they switched. You know, he went from wearing normal clothes to furry breeches in the original cartoon,
Yeah.
which I'm glad that they did not do in this movie. I mean, I wish he kind of wore a little bit more clothing,
Yeah.
but
The chest piece was too small. It should have been like half his fucking body. You know,
Mhm.
I always like the big chest plate, but yeah. I did not need to see that much oily Darth Lumbro, even though
Yeah,
he was
was.
perfect physically for the role.
Yeah, he was oil. He was awfully oily in the last scene. Like, oh man, they just got
I'm
done
just
oiling him up before they shot that.
I'm just
Uh.
thinking, you know, Justin's just like, well, wait a minute. If I wanted to see this much oily men, I would just go watch professional wrestling over and over.
I never
Especially the 80s.
I never liked wrestling, man. I never watched that shit.
It was more fun to play. You know, that was one of those things with professional wrestling. It was more fun to play the video games than it was to actually, you know, watch it.
Mm.
This could be a fun video game, He-Man, if they did it correctly.
Oh, I think that He-Man would be a fine video game. Just get rid of Orko and it'd be okay.
No, I like Dorko.
I would treat it. Did any of you guys play any of the Zelda games?
I have
Uh,
not. No,
I
no,
never-
that's
Uh,
Nintendo. I don't have. I've never.
For maybe the first one or two back.
Oh
in
yeah,
the-
no, it was like
after that.
Orca of Time, where you grab the Master Sword and you go from like kid Link to grown up Link. I'm like, you can do something with that with the He-Man.
Orko's just thrown in to get girls to watch. I mean, that's the
Orko. Wait, which one do you think Orko was?
Orko's the one that was flying around. That was a little magic user. That was.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm just like, you said girls to watch. I'm like,
I'm
no.
telling you because because I've watched a lot of stuff for the cartoons and things.
Yeah,
And I'm going to mention Flash Gordon, which I loved when I watched it in the 1970s, which was like 79 when it came out. But when they came out with season 2, they had to add something cutesy or whatever, and that's always the only reason they add that is not because boys want it; it's because girls. The hope is to get more girls to watch it. That's my reference for that.
Yeah. I don't think Orko counts as cutesy.
Yeah, I think you got like maybe the tiger. I can give you the tiger.
Yeah.
You know what? Women love horses. You just need more horses in there.
Yeah, that's why they made Shira. She had a fucking unicorn, man.
Oh yeah.
You like horses, man. Put a horn on its head. It's like
Oh,
horses
and
times,
wings, you know, and you're just
times
like,
X.
I don't know about you guys, but I can't
times
think about
10.
the old cartoon back in the day, without hearing the "by the power of the Grayskull," you know, the whole line. Every time I think,
have the power.
but you know what? I was okay with that. That's actually made fun. It was the same thing with Thundercats, you know, with the all you have to do is go Thundercats, 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 ho, and everyone can do the whole, raising it up and yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about is that, at certain points they keep on like a little side note. I was watching Avatar, the Way of Water, and I literally watched it. It's not a bad film, but when you look at it, it's like you understand it's basically just a giant cartoon because of there's so much CGI in there versus real life. It's like, why don't you just make it into a cartoon?
I did know Dances with Wolves had a sequel, because that's what the first one, Avatar, was.
Yeah.
It was a retelling of Dances with Wolves.
With Smurfberries. With Smurfberries.
That's the sad thing about what's his face. The more he tries to do like fancy stuff, the worse his films are.
Well, I mean, it's not that I mind that you recycle stuff. I don't. I mean, you recycle stories all the time. The problem that I have with it, with the second. Oh, there's Shadow.
Hey, what's up, guys?
You missed the whole conversation, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. You can ask them all these questions again instead of us knocking.
Yeah.
I can.
Who was your favorite character and why was it Tila? What did you think of? What did you think of Tila's G-string?
Was it
Wow.
copper or brass?
No, it was like a leather strap, man.
Yeah, every
Yeah,
time she ran away,
it was
it was the best.
it was too revealing, and yeah, right.
You're right. No, man, I wish she had the original outfit, the white one with the gold trim and the cartoon, and nothing else.
Yeah, it was definitely a sausage fest.
There was
Oh,
3 women in this one: Evil Lynn, Teal, Grandma, and Courtney Cox.
grandma.
So the Sorceress Supreme or Sorceress,
Oh yeah.
who turned, as the movie continues, the older she
She's
looks.
older. Yeah. I call her Crystal Head.
Meth is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, just ask Jackie.
So Shadow, what did you think of the movie?
It was not awful.
Did you watch it again like I told
it,
you to?
it set out what it, tried to do, and it could have been a lot worse. Could it have been better? A little, I suppose. But it had a very finite, set of parameters. So, if you're a fan of the IP, I guess, then I saw it for the first time about 6 months ago on, I think it was Pluto, when Pluto didn't suck, and I was like, okay, it's on. Never seen it. I'm bored as hell. I'll give it a whirl, and I didn't hate it. I'd rank it a little bit below, well, a notch or two below Beastmaster and Flash Gordon. They went out to do a service to the IP, and they did.
That's fair. I was there any sets? Was there any set scenes in it? Sets, yeah, sets. You stuck out more than others for you?
Not really. It was all admirable. It wasn't Star Trek original series crappy in the way of sets or scenery. They had a budget. They
Good.
They killed it 3 times over.
Yeah.
Like I said, it could have been worse. It wasn't awful. Dolph, did okay. Definitely did better in this than he did in The Punisher.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was telling everybody earlier, this movie is the one that bankrupted Canon Films.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it was if anything, it was too little, too late. Had they gone, and made this movie a couple years sooner.
Yeah. Well, it was
would've been
only 5 years after the cartoon had been out, so
You can't.
Yeah, but like I said, had they
it would still hit the nostalgia berries for the kids who watched.
This is how, if I was Canon Theater, if I was Canon Studio, this is how I would do it. I would not do a live action. I would do this the same way that somebody did the Transformers movie. Concentrate, make it an a cartoon movie with a really good soundtrack, and sell a shitload of toys from it.
The problem is they weren't going to get toy licenses, so
all right, soundtrack and the movie. If they did it as a cartoon, I think it would be better.
Yeah, but see,
and Canon wasn't an animation studio, right? So.
The way I see it, they needed to do this a lot sooner. The folks that were watching it as a kid, 5 years later, they were out doing a lot of different things than playing with action figures. One would hope.
I don't think that. I don't think
climbing trees and getting into trouble, as opposed to getting made fun of their friends for watching this movie.
I think this is more the let's go see a cheesy movie on a Saturday afternoon in the middle of summer.
Yeah, but I don't see I don't see a lot of 17 to 21-year-olds taking their girlfriend to see this movie.
No, 12-year-olds would be going to go see this movie because the target audience of the
No, but the original audience of the cartoon 5 years later, 17
would be
to 20.
about they'd be about 12 to 15.
Well, but I'm going to bring something up,
Really?
which is
Yeah.
no. I agree with Justin, because that's probably more the age group aimed for. And when the toy came out, I was 8. But yeah, it was something like that. But anyway, the I think part of the problem is that there wasn't enough for adults to take their kids to this as well, because that's one thing Disney did a good job of. If you look at their old movies, is they had always 2 levels. They had the stuff that would appeal to the kids, and then they had the stuff that appealed to the adults when they went to the film. So then it wasn't just like, hey, I'm just going to drop my kid off at the movie, at the mall to go watch the movie. And I think that's part of the problem that you have with a lot of these is it's not it's too childish, but not childish enough. Like Shadow. So it's hitting the wrong. There aren't enough of that.
Yeah, and it always hits at the crescendo of your sentence, bro.
Yeah, but no, I mean, but that's what I think that it's coming down to.
I think that's really why Tila's outfit was so radically different from the cartoon. Even Man at Arms was just not yellow. Like that was only the only real difference.
I don't think it was the costume that killed it for me when it comes to Man of Arms. I think it was the actor, because he looked like he just walked off, as I said, some after-school special playing his dad.
But
the thrill.
Man at Arms always felt that way to me. He always felt like, because he's Tila's dad in the show, right?
There's a difference between being like,
And
a father that's a soldier than being, Mr. Beaver.
Oh, okay. I didn't quite get Mr. Beaver, but yeah. What was his name?
The actor?
No. Mr. Beaver had a first name in the show. Chet. No.
I think the other hiccup one
Cleaver? No, that's the kid. Whatever.
How old were you, Justin?
When this movie came out, I was 2 years old.
Okay. When did this movie come out?
87.
87. Oh shit.
Yeah, I think I saw it in theaters too.
Yeah, I was 20. I was definitely I definitely missed all of it. I mean, I remember when it came out, and it had some similarities to some toys that came out during my time. But it was so far.
I think I know where the hiccup here is. I mean, we could talk about the film, and that I enjoy that. I grew up watching the cartoons. I mean, I remember watching the cartoons and watching this movie, thinking this is the best thing ever. And to this day, I'm still, not a huge He-Man fan, but if it's on TV, I'm not gonna, I'll watch it. I'll watch the old cartoons, the old ones and the 2000 ones. So where I believe Omanow said he was a teenager when the cartoon came out and had no interest in the cartoon, but he thought
no. I was, to be fair, so I was right at 10 or so, which is kind of the age group it was aiming for. But by the time it was 14, let's be honest, I was starting to watch rated R films, or PG-13, which were just better. This is the movie when it's aimed at. It probably aimed for about 10 to 14 for most of it, depending on where you were, but it didn't appeal to adults. I mean, I know you knock Star Wars, but Star Wars had a lot of different levels that it could appeal to both young and old. Mm-hmm. This one doesn't have that, which I think is which is going to doom a movie no matter what.
Yeah. Mark, did the cartoon or the toys grab your interest as a kid at all?
I'm like the same age, almost the same age as Omen here. So yeah. I was when the toy line did come out, I was probably about 10 or 11, I think. But I do remember the toy line coming out well before the cartoon. Yeah. So there was a bit of a disconnect. And I do remember, for whatever reason, reading the lore behind the toys. When the toys came out, it seemed like the lore was quite a bit different. And and it left it to your imagination a bit more. I did enjoy the idea behind the lore of the original toy line, and more than the cartoon. I wasn't the biggest fan of the cartoon because I don't even think the whole Adam angle of He-Man was mentioned when the toy line originally came out.
It
So
was,
I think he was either. I think
Yeah, the toys were just unique looking, and they had the Battle Cat and stuff. But I mean, like Mark, I think is like 2 months older than I am, if that.
right, yep.
I mean, and so when the toys came out, and it's the same thing with the old GI Joe. They used to have a little blurb on the back.
Yeah, I like that. Same with the GI Joe. I always thought the lore and the things on the back of the GI Joe cartoons was always caught my imagination more, and I thought were always much cooler than the versus the cartoon itself.
And I think that's what got me into it. It's like, oh, this is so cool. You look at it, and we did have the GI Joes. These were bigger toys, and they went over. And to be fair, right up until I was about 13. I was still getting some of the toys for stuff, and then after that, it's like, okay, But
Yeah,
I get that. I just going back to this movie. It's weird because it's He-Man, the same way that the 2000 He-Man is He-Man and the early 80s one, but it's not the same He-Man. And even the cartoon series has an issue of keeping the fundamentals correct, I think. And I think that's the other hang up with this movie is we got the players, we just didn't get the fundamentals correct.
yeah. The fundamentals, yeah.
I mean, we've bitched about the scenery. I think the coolest, the coolest scene in this movie, other than the little redhead guy's house, because they actually put some money in there, was the music shop. I think the music. I was watching that scene in the music shop, and in the back of my head, I just see young Shadow walking in, looking for a guitar. It was just
Yeah. So young Shadow looks exactly like the way he does now, right?
That's not true.
Yeah.
My hair was black, actually.
Yeah. In
my hair was
500 BC.
Those in the conversation who still have hair.
500 BC, his hair was black.
Look, just because I like Raquel Welch in 10,000 BC, it doesn't, we're just a little off.
Telling you.
Yeah, that's when his hair was short.
What did you think of Castle Gray skull there, Shadow?
Wasn't bad. It they had everything to go with and get it right. It would have been a lot of fun to be one of the model makers, to have worked on it.
There was no model for that. It was a matte painting.
Pardon?
There was no model for that. It was a matte painting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I haven't seen it in 6 months or more.
You've got to get a pair of glasses.
No, it's not about glasses. It's about memory.
I told you to watch it again today.
Yeah, and you saw how well I listen. I don't really take orders.
Well,
whippersnappers.
We're gonna have to get you a taser color, old man.
That's right. Yeah. Every time you don't watch something that Justin does, is you have to shock him.
Good luck getting that signal to
all
the way across the miles.
Yeah, we got relays, satellites, and shit. You're just gonna get random shocks out of nowhere.
No.
You're just gonna keep getting them until you pick the right program.
Justin, it's for you. So every time you tell Shadow something, he just presses the button whenever you.
No. He gets a shock continuously until he puts on the right movie, and I'm not gonna tell him what one it is.
If the controller and the collar are attached to a Wi-Fi, you could possibly do it. I know there's other products.
Good luck getting that collar on this cat.
We'll just talk to Jack.
Man, yeah. You're just gonna wake up with it surgically grafted to your nuts.
Look. Running Man is not allowed because it doesn't have all of the requirements. Okay.
I'm just saying this taser collar was designed by Brian.
Well, no. Just effective. If you remember, Running Man is where they had the collar, and if they went
Yeah.
past a certain fence, it blew the head off.
Does anybody else got anything they want to talk about when it came? Who was your favorite character, Shadow?
Gwildor. It's Gwildor, isn't it? I know you.
No, it's probably Tila, just because she wasn't too hard on the eyes.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
favorite character. I already called dibs.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Sometimes you're right. So, yeah, if I said anything else, I would never live it down.
What, you like Gwildor?
That or Gwildor. I mean, come on.
No, he liked Evil Lyn.
Hey, Evelyn wasn't bad.
Yeah, I kind of tend to either go for the really, really good girls or the really, really bad girls.
Now,
So-
I liked Evelyn in the cartoon.
I liked her in this movie. She had enough sense to walk away at the end. She said, "Nope, I'm good."
Well, that's what they always did. They're all cowards, right? So,
well, I mean, what are they going to do? They just watch the good guy win.
Did he though? Really?
did he? Really? He didn't even get the hot blonde. Fucking Principal Strickland got the hot blonde.
You know what I wanted Skeletor to do when he finally got the power was to do the line. By the power of Grayskull, I have the power. I wanted Skeletor to do that. What I got was the other guy doing it, and it was barely done.
Yeah, I don't think they were allowed to use it. Like, if you notice, they don't use a lot of the stuff from the cartoon. They use the stuff from the back of the boxes.
Mm. Oh, sort of like how Amazon Prime was only able to use like 1% of the Lord of the Rings stuff.
They were only
Yeah.
allowed to use the appendices, and they couldn't even do that right.
Right.
Yeah.
The studio was only allowed to use maybe like 10% of the lore of He-Man.
Oh, and you know what? No, you know what's really sad is they canceled a bunch of fucking good sci-fi shows that were popular with their audience and fan bases to put on another Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, which
There was the one about the virtual reality
upload
or what?
upload.
I don't think it was
Another
upload.
one.
It was with a P.
Military upload. Yeah, I know what one. The only show on Amazon Prime right now that's worth watching is season 2 of Reacher.
Well,
Reacher.
the other thing that happened with Amazon is that was also right during the COVID stuff, so a lot of stuff got put on hold because I haven't seen Carnival Row, which it's interesting. I can't say it's great, but it's interesting if you want if you want if you want the fantasy in Victorian England kind of feel. I'd recommend Carnival Row if that's your thing.
Carnival Row kind of reminded me of what was that Will Smith movie Bright.
Right.
I liked Bright a lot. Bright was a lot of fun.
It was like Bright, just like you said, in Victoria, England.
But that's my point. Is I don't mind that if you're gonna go with it. The problem I felt, but I know that we're going off of He-Man because I think that dead horse. I think the dead horse is gone. Now here's the question for you guys because I know I don't know if anyone's watched it, but I originally said Last Starfighter, but after watching this, I kind of want a palate cleanse. So I'm more tempted to go for Flash Gordon, but I wanted to let you guys pick one of those two.
As a kid, I got the two actors mixed up because the guy who plays Flash, big blonde-headed guy. The guy who played He-Man, a big blonde guy. They're both in outer space. They're both. It was like,
No, I could see that. They have enough similar characteristics, especially when you're younger. You haven't learned to focus on certain traits yet.
Well, you still haven't learned how to do that.
Look, the only traits you're looking for is boobs. There's just doesn't.
Tila.
So nothing's changed.
So whose movie are we doing next week? Yours or
Yours.
mine? Mine. Okay, so RoboCop.
RoboCop, yeah.
RoboCop. That there are boobs in that.
That is a good palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I you know,
Paul
it's a-
Verhoeven. Yeah.
I thought Shadow. I thought your pick was for some odd reason. I thought your pick was a Planet of the Apes.
It is.
It is.
Oh, I thought yours was Logan was Run. Maybe I got it wrong.
Nope. I'm going with, just like Connell, I'm going with the movie that started me down the road of sci-fi. And you guys, I don't know have any of you all seen all of the movies?
Unfortunately,
And the TV series.
I remember watching it as a kid. I don't remember if I've seen all of them, but I've watched at least 4 or 5 of the stuff in the 70s. From the late 60s to the 70s, and then the TV series when I was a kid.
Okay, because I'm going to try and work all the other movies in.
Oh,
Because
no, don't work all of them in. Just go for one because we have so many other great movies to go in a whole month.
all right, well then I recommend you go and watch the other ones in order because it is a miraculous story. The way I was explaining last night to someone how the last movie is the prequel to the first movie.
Yeah, it is.
I will give you the workaround, the little nice reach around they gave. The story was amazing, but I got off the train after the nuke. The nuke did it for me. I'm done.
Really, that was crucial to the whole story to make
I saw all of them. So a nuke goes off, and Mama and Papa Caesar end up in a ship that just happens to go back in time.
Well, yeah, you could theorize that the Alpha Omega bomb was partially what allowed them to do so.
And I could also theorize that, when Oppenheimer made his bomb, he created time traveling as well. It's not true.
Well, no, you gotta remember the Alpha Omega bomb was way beyond what we know as a nuclear weapon. It was literally the doomsday weapon, and if you remember, that thing was not very big. It wasn't about payload and things like that. It had something else going on that they knew that if they launched it, it was going to destroy the entire world.
And I get that, and I get it. It was when they made the sequel to the third one, where Mom and Paul Caesar back in the 1960s.
That was the third movie.
Yeah.
So here's the problem that the Planet of the Apes.
That was the one where they were in the cages the whole time, right?
Was that the quality just kept going down. I'm not saying.
Oh yeah, it absolutely did, but they still managed to pull it out of the toilet. If you follow it all the way to basically Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, because Battle is a shit show that somehow takes place outside of the circle of the 4.
Actually, I didn't. I get that.
Conquest is a powerful movie. That is a very, very powerful movie.
I've seen all the 8 movies. It's just the one. It's the first one and the second one from that series are the 2 I will watch. I
hate the Cornelius and Zira on Earth, but it had some famous people in it. Ricardo Montalban, in one of his finest roles.
Doesn't mean I want to go there.
Wrath of Khan? I don't remember him.
I said one of, not his finest, one of. Again, ending it with Conquest is.
We all know his finest role is Fantasy Island.
No, I'm not disagreeing with Shadow that it gave the full history for it. But look, we only do one of a certain series for the most part, just because.
Okay, then maybe I'll make you watch
all
Conquest.
We would be doing is otherwise it'd just be marathons of.
Oh,
all right,
God.
everybody watch all the Star Wars. Okay, everybody watch all of this. Everybody watch all of this.
Leaders, yeah.
Okay, everybody watch the Marvel Universe next week.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Dude, I just bought Pirates of Darkwater over a month ago, and I have yet to even unwrap it.
Yeah, but that's because you're a slacker.
No, I actually have
Like,
a whole lot of things going on.
You've
Besides
been on.
sitting in front of a movie, it's really hard for me to just sit and watch a movie for 2 hours. I've
You gotta.
apparently
You gotta.
been infected with the latest generational defect of not being able to just sit down and shut up for 2 hours.
Well,
Dude,
don't.
I have ADD.
Freaking.
If I can do it, you can do it.
You've got. Do you have a disc player on that laptop of yours?
No,
Get a disc player off Amazon.
I've got several devices that can play a movie.
Yeah, but are they in that room while you're painting?
No.
Well, that's what you need to
And,
do.
and actually, I don't think I could actually arrange that. I've been able to create a mini paint station downstairs from time to time. I just that was part of the goal to get the dedicated room. Everything is
Yeah,
up
but
here.
you know what I mean. Like when you're not on stream, you can pop
Sure,
in
which
an
is-
episode and
which
listen to
is,
it
you
while
know,
you're.
very rare. But yeah,
I
you guys are
just-
lucky. I almost went over to Bear's stream right now. It's like no.
All right, so
Shouldn't do
on
that, man.
the list of movies, I just want to make this clear because I'm kind of being slow. I'm not thinking as well as I normally think. Mine was He-Man. It was a movie. Next was Justin's, which will be RoboCop, which we'll decide what we think about that next week. Then who wants to go
Classic.
after?
It's got robots in it.
Right,
And Mark,
Justin.
Always at the climax of the sentence, man.
It
Always
never
at
stops getting funny, dude. It never stops getting funny.
the-
so
I just hope that's not what happens when you're with a woman.
you know what?
You
That,
just
that, that,
pop
that
out
just
of
gets her more
existence.
turned on and more aggravated. And you know how much women like to be frustrated. Go.
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
So
Right.
before this turns into Pornhub, Mark, what's your pick?
Oh, I gotta download that sound.
I didn't really have a pick yet. We're
All right.
it's just any site. We're not doing any type of themes or anything. Okay.
It's
No,
just
I
the
like
ones
Connell's
listed.
theme of what was your first sci-fi
yeah, this one,
love. You know,
yeah,
it's a great theme, dude.
yeah, the theme is very much. What was your first sci-fi movie? What brought you into the world of sci-fi? He-Man was mine, I guess. RoboCop was Justin's. Planet of the Apes was Shadow, one of probably. Omenau, it was the Jetsons movie.
No, well, no.
the Jetsons movie.
All right. I'm gonna and other than Star Wars, we'll go with another early one that probably. Would Tron, would the original Tron, would that
Yeah, Tron
count as
Absolutely,
sci-fi?
and I've never seen Tron, so that's a good one.
All right, the 83 Tron, the original one. Let's go
Yeah,
with that.
absolutely.
So he's going to do that. If we're going to go for the really early ones, and I don't pick The Last Starfighter, but I really like to go Flash Gordon.
We could do
Uh,
Flash.
Both
Yeah,
are great
Flash-
picks. You know, both are classics.
Oh, well, see,
And I haven't seen Last Starfighter since it came out.
No, I watched it last night, but Flash Gordon, I think is just a little bit more over the top and fun to watch, and so I'd rather go for that one. And then some of these things are just there's a lot of things that when you talk about what can we add to a game, which is what we're really thinking about. It's like how would I do a game? Which is the question you didn't ask, Connell, of how would we do this as a campaign?
I'll throw Pathfinder in front of you.
But no, Flash Gordon I think is one of the classic ones.
That's an
there's-
easy one. That one, Flash Gordon, of all the movies we just mentioned, even though I do have a Planet of the Apes style game somewhere.
Go
Flash,
back.
Gor-
Oh, so yeah.
Flash Gordon is the one pick out of the 5 that has the most potential for a long campaign with all the different worlds, all the different serials, the movie serials, the TV shows, or I should say cartoons, the comic books. It's just got the most vibrant, rich world that you could just play in, even if you didn't know you were in Flash Gordon's world. Like if you brought a bunch of new kids and told them you were going to run a sci-fi game, you could run that universe for years before they figured out, Ming the Merciless is behind everything, and Flash, he'll save every one of us, kind of thing.
You could do that with He-Man as well, especially
I
the
think it
setup
would
of
be
the
a little
movie.
bit more recognizable.
It depends. If you do it the way the movie was set up, where it's just people and
Well, I
they
mean,
get captured.
look. Star Wars is one of the classic ones. If we're going to go for one that's not necessarily a campaign, or it's going to be a shorter campaign, and I know that Mark and I talked about, I've mentioned this, Battle Beyond the Stars, which is basically the Magnificent Seven in space.
I tried watching that this last year, and I fell asleep like halfway through. I was not getting that vibe from it, but I'll try to watch it again.
Yeah, it's kind of slow.
Pirates.
It's slow until the latter part of it, when you start getting into the big battles and stuff.
And fucking, what's his name from Green Acres, or not Green Acres?
The Waltons.
The Waltons.
Yep.
He is not an enjoyable person to watch.
The guy who did It.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to say, I didn't hate him in It. In the Waltons, I didn't really watch that show, so it wasn't.
It's also a different kind of show. Like the Waltons is down home's folksy kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like Little House on the Prairie and
Yeah,
Highway to Heaven. I didn't watch any of that kind of television whatsoever.
I'm going to bring the other part that comes into it, which is he's not a main character. He's just not a lead actor. Let's be honest about it.
Yeah,
I did like him when I was watching when they would show stuff that he did when they were doing plays. That was more enjoyable. But yeah, he doesn't have the charisma. He just doesn't have the gravitas that you go, oh, we gotta go watch this film.
Yeah, I wouldn't say charisma because he definitely had that. He just didn't have the gravitas. He wasn't the leading guy. He made a great, best man, kind of thing.
Sidekick.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's better as a secondary character or in an ensemble cast where, but he's not going to be you're not going to go to the movie because he's in it, is my point.
Yeah, if he was one of the other characters in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain if he's in it at all. I wouldn't say, what the hell? It's like, okay, cool. He's getting some work. Cool.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing, but yeah, he's just not.
He is an accomplished actor. I actually just saw something that he was in here recently called Billionaires, which was a show on Showtime, which was fun for what it was.
Well, not calling him bad at anything. He's just not a leading man. So.
Yeah. No, I get that. Okay.
Billionaires, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to pick stuff that's in there without going through everything. I mean, just like if we're going to do Star Wars, if I'm going to pick one, and at some point I may, but it's going to be It's going to be The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. Anything else is a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, look, well, we got to watch the first one. Like, no, you don't have to watch the
I don't know.
watch the best one.
We could edit all of Natalie Portman's scenes from Phantom Menace together and just watch that.
No, thanks.
Yeah, because at some point she is going to talk, and I'm going to want to smack her.
Yeah, put it on mute. Put it on mute.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher, she could not hold a candle to Carrie Fisher.
Nah, Carrie Fisher.
At Carrie Fisher's worst. You know what I mean?
I never liked
Drunk
Carrie
and
Fisher.
freaking coked out or whatever.
That's definitely.
I watched The Burbs too many times to see anything. Carrie Fisher was anything but a frumpy housewife.
That's how amazing an actress she was.
Carrie
She could pull
Fisher
that
from-
off. And then the next thing you know, she's in that freaking slave barge bikini. And you
No, that was 30 years earlier, man. Next thing you
know.
know, she's like 500 pounds.
Hey, you know
No,
what?
she wasn't that big when she passed.
Yeah, no, she was before that, though.
Well,
Alan. It's like going back and watching Cheers or the movie with Tom Selleck and
look who's talking now.
You know what is I remember this with Wrath of Khan because she was
Oh yeah,
But-
she's
but-
fucking
what was funny was someone was talking to her, and he's like, "I'm a Star Trek fan," and blah blah blah. She said, "Really? You don't identify me from the Star Wars movie?" I mean, she just ripped the guy apart. Like, you claim to be a Star Wars fan, and you don't know that I was in
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
What's that?
You kept saying Star Wars.
No, Star Trek. Star Trek. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, see, we were at the con for Star Trek.
I think Gray Skull, Gray Stone, and yours. Yeah. All right. So who wants to go after Justin? All
I'll
right.
go.
So are we doing Flash Gordon or are we doing?
We will do Flash Gordon. I mean, we can always bring up one of the other ones later.
It's not like we're not doing a year of this.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. But I don't want to do one of all of the scenes unless they're really great films. To be honest, it's like Alien and Aliens. Don't get me wrong. I'd still love to watch them, but I want to save Alien and whoever picks it at least for October when we get the horror
Absolutely.
movie.
Yeah, you guys already know my pick.
Yeah.
I get the argument where that could count as a Halloween film.
It's a horror movie. It's one of the top 3 scariest. Since that movie came out, either Jaws or Alien ranks number 1 as the scariest movie of all time since it came out.
No, man. You're gonna watch Ice Pirates. You're gonna see the scariest movie ever.
Hey, Justin. We expect to watch Ice Pirates sometime. You know, that's part of it.
That makes Jaws.
I'm just saying that's far scarier than Alien, man. There's that one scene. Chomp, 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 chomp.
You know what? Nothing nothing's scarier than the last 15, 20 minutes of.
You're gonna watch that. You're gonna watch that scene, and you're gonna be like, "This is the scariest movie ever, man."
Oh yeah, that's the eyeball scene.
No. Ice Pirates. You're gonna watch the
Justin, fine. You beat it to a dead horse. Time to move on. I know.
I haven't seen it, so I really have no frame of reference.
Yeah, exactly. So
I know Killer Clowns from Outer Space is on this list.
Yeah, they're space aliens.
And clowns scare the hell out of Connell, so that works. I mean, if that's
it's just I got too much Illinoisan in me to actually appreciate clowns. We already had our clown. It was John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy.
Gacy, yeah.
Well, you know, he only pales to your current governor. And good luck with what they're demanding right now. Wow, I cannot wait to see that pop off.
Well, nor do I. If it's gun related, it's not going to affect me. I don't have one.
You know, you don't have to have one to get hit by one.
Have you seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space there, Shadwell?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I've seen it. God, did we watch it already on the show?
No, I had to go back to make sure. No, we haven't watched it. I had to go back and make sure we didn't do Logan's Run. We talked about it. We just never did it.
Yeah, that's
no. I clearly remember watching the episode where you guys did it, so we don't have to watch it.
Well, Logan's Run or Killer Clowns?
Yeah, I remember where the one where you watched Logan's Run.
That's not possible. I just bought the movie.
Yeah, I don't care. I remember the episode where you guys watched Logan's Run before I joined.
Well,
we talked about it quite a bit about reading the book.
No. I remember the episode where you guys watched Logan's Run.
Hey, that movie's got some choice scenes in it. Just saying.
Hey, wait a minute. I just want to mention this. That's only because Justin is a time traveling hobgoblin.
Yeah. Also, it was before I joined the show. I remember the episode clearly.
I have 91 people have signed as subbed. How the hell did that happen?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Yeah, I actually need to.
It's my verification card now. Right, Shadow?
Pardon?
You know that it's me because I said Taco Bell.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
But yeah, I think we could turn He-Man into a role-playing game. Like,
Oh, yeah.
at least a little a session or two.
I think there's a part of me that I need to get the rest of the books for the Conan 2D20, but I'm pretty sure you could do a He-Man story through using that system.
Yeah, you just gotta give him some hair dye, some bleach.
Okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask a question. We're going to go around one by one, and Connell's not allowed to answer this until everyone else does. Which character does Connell would be most like in the movie?
Gwildor.
You know what?
I could see him in the red robe and pointy hat.
Yeah, that was in the cartoon. He wasn't in the movie.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? Is I kind of have him in the Gwildor state as well. Mark?
Well, what was the question again? Which character? What, Connell?
What would Connell most reflect in the movie?
Resemble.
Yeah, resemble.
Oh, I don't.
Okay. Well,
I don't know.
After we're done with that, now we have to go all around, and it's going to be Justin. So, which one does Justin most represent? Connell?
He-Man.
Just
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with Skeletor, and I'm gonna have to leave. I got to get ready to go to work here. So
Party
I'm
on
gonna
Mars.
say Justin go Skeletor.
All right.
I respect that.
All right.
Take care.
All right. See you guys.
So to speak.
Yeah, good to see you
Don't be
guys.
such a stranger.
All right.
Yeah, Mark.
Later.
Take care,
Party
buddy.
on, man.
Bye bye. RoboCop next week, right?
RoboCop.
Yeah.
RoboCop.
Okay. Good. That's a good one. All right. Bye bye.
Yeah, I like RoboCop.
I am going to say that Justin is Pig Boy.
Who the fuck was Pig Boy? I seen this credit on the thing. I did not see this character in the movie.
He was in it. He was in it for like a second. The last like 20 minutes of the film. When they're marching He-Man down before he gets whipped, he's there off to the side and he has a pig face. You see him up right?
Okay. He hands the staff to Skeletor
Yeah.
or something like that. Okay, yeah.
Okay, Shadow. Which one does Justin most represent?
An actual character.
Yeah.
I gave you someone with speaking lines. I had the second mouth.
I in a couple years I could see him playing Man at Arms.
Man at Arms.
I see.
I'm not into incest.
If the Nazis ran, the army.
I'm just for Justin, is he was the lizard man that got vaporized.
We're
right.
killing you because of the makeup budget.
Okay, and then Shadow, Connell, who does Shadow would be most represent?
The cop.
Also Gwildor.
Oh, the cop, yeah.
Cop.
Just a random cop. Just one of the random cops.
Hey, if you throw up that picture of me and Jackie from back in the day, yeah, I got mistaken as a cop a lot.
Yeah, but not Principal Strickland, just one of the random beat cops.
Right, as a random beat cop, yeah.
I see Shadow being Man at Arms.
He just came off of a after school special and
and okay, now it's my turn to get roasted. Your turn, guys.
the
I
guy.
paid good money to see him as Skeletor.
No, he's not that cool.
Courtney Cox's dad.
The bald headed dude with the sword, Mr. Knifey.
Oh yeah. Blade's.
Yeah.
His name was.
My name is what I use. Oh, jackass.
Yeah.
So was there a crackhead in the story?
Yes,
Blade.
Crackhead. He was a short guy that was missing one hand. He had a spike, and he had the old little alien looking fucker.
Bubble hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy had a hairdo that was as wide as his entire body.
He kind of reminded me of. He kind of watching that movie, looking at that character, made me want to watch. What was that? It's an alien movie. Not Gremlins because those are not aliens. Critters.
Critters, yeah, Critters.
Yeah. I know I've seen it, but it's been.
Oh, it's an old
40
one.
Years.
It's probably another canon film.
What's up, nerd? Hungar, how you doing, buddy?
Hungar.
Holman was giving me a little crap earlier, saying this movie barely fit the conditionings. You know, it had robots, aliens, and all that. So look at everything. This movie had everything. It had aliens. It had time traveling at the end. It had spaceship with laser guns.
Yeah. You never have to see the laser guns fire.
You know, since you have more people there, what are they going to say that each of us represents for the characters in He-Man? You know, Hungar, go.
I am He-Man.
No, we were talking about the movie.
Hitler has the thing for blonde hair, blue eyes. Does not make you.
Oh, shush your mouth, Carl.
I mean, pretty soon we're going to be talking about Aquaman.
Yeah, we're going to be watching Star Wars soon, bro.
Oh,
talk about the character you best in.
Look. Colin the Wampa in Return in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
You know, because he gets to whack Luke. That's the whole reason.
He's the little. Hey, they remade Critters.
Yeah, sort of.
A new batch.
Didn't it have like 3 or 4 sequels?
Yeah, but there was like one from 2019.
Leo, what's his last name?
DiCaprio.
Yeah, I always call him Cappuccino in my head, so that doesn't exactly work. But he's in one of them when they go to
the first one, I think.
At the end of this, though, not at the end. There's going to be the wonderful thing about sci-fi is for every good sci-fi movie, there's like 5 horrible ones.
And none of the Critter movies are horrible ones.
They're bad, just not horrible.
There's never been even a slight bad scene in a Critters movie. I good sir think you're wrong on that.
Oh no, I think this is gonna be fun. I can't wait to see what kind of nonsense you guys bring to the table.
I'm just gonna be bringing classics, guys.
No, and I no offense, Shadow, but marathoning Planet of the Apes.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna marathon it. I would just
we're only doing one from each series. Is the whole.
I would space it out.
Yeah,
I'd be kind.
I'm pretty sure it's like I'd like to do Terminator.
But at the same time, we each get like 10 picks, which I was thinking about.
Maybe less than that if we have Bo ever comes back.
Bo comes back.
If Bo shows up, which I find highly likely in the next several months.
Highly unlikely.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's the thing that we're looking at is, like it's best to put your best foot forward for sci-fi rather than just try and say, well, I'm going to watch the. Yeah, it's like no, it's.
I kind of have
no. So what I was getting at is, you guys may want to look at your top 10 list of favorite sci-fi movies, because we're not all going to agree. And if we do, that just leaves room for someone to add another movie if somebody picks something that's in your top 10.
I'm not going for the top 10. I'm going for the things that I find are the most unlikely you guys have watched, besides a few here and there.
Well, no, I've watched ones that are good movies, and a lot of them don't have to be my top 10. They're just
I could throw an Indiana Jones movie in here.
Oh, if you do
no Crystal Skull. We already talked about that in the prequel episode.
Crystal Skull.
There was none of them qualified.
There was no movie after
last one does.
No movie after Last Crusade. There wasn't. I don't care what anyone says.
No. Oh, now let me finish here.
That was a dream sequence, not time travel.
It
last
meets the
one-
requirements. I'm just saying, don't make us suffer through that.
Right, so the last one has time traveling in it.
Yes, but we will all get plane tickets and come down there and
You know,
beat
it
you
might
with
be-
wiffle bats until you're
You
black
know,
and blue.
Do a guilty pleasure.
Wiffle bats?
I want it to be slow.
Well, considering I won't be getting in an airplane, you guys are gonna have to.
I
leave me
don't care how
separate.
you get there. You use your time travel Jesus powers. And you get down there.
Ladies
Oh, awesome.
was off the rails because
Well, you did steal them from him when you killed them, so
no, I around my
The third
birthday
time.
again. Around my birthday again, I'm going to do another guilty pleasure. It's just going to be sci-fi theme.
That's
yeah.
you know what? That's whatever you want to. I mean, it's your choice. But I'm trying to get like films that people actually want to watch and enjoy.
September. We're talking. We have a while.
Yeah,
Who
I
says
know.
anything about want to watch? You have to watch them.
Oh my god.
I mean, you know, that's why I put the big long list. Like, yeah, okay, that one counts. Look, technically, the Crystal Skull counts too. It doesn't mean
We don't talk about that movie.
we don't
talk
talk
about
about
any
anything
of
after
them.
Last Crusade. Indiana Jones died in 1946, and we're good.
Yeah, he was killed by Nazis.
No. He was killed
That
post
bad.
Nazi. He was killed by he died of Legionnaire's disease. You know.
He was killed by iceberg Nazis. From
You know, no.
Portugal.
Well, you know what, Justin? Ice Pirates is one of those that's still in that same range. I mean, I'd like to watch it again. It's been, 40 years since I saw it? 30 years, something like that.
Bruce
Yeah, it's
on
been like
his
2.
channel like what 2 or 3 months ago.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Bruce-
Yeah, I can understand.
that
Yeah, but
one.
I don't. Yeah, but I mean, I enjoyed Ice Pirates because
No, I'm
it's
not
just
saying you can't do it. I just don't want to do it like
I know.
right
Yeah.
after.
Wait
Let's
6
have like a
months.
6-month moratorium,
Sure.
on something that's been done by one of our pals.
Mhm.
Would Cool City count?
Which one?
World?
Wicked.
Cool World. Yeah, Cool World.
Cool World? No.
Because
No,
it's
technically,
Sure.
would Wizards count? I don't think it does either.
Wizards has
Doesn't it have a no?
Robots. It has the robot assassin.
a Cool World. He goes into was a Brad Pitt's character goes into the cartoon world. It has fucking everything in it.
Nah.
That's not Alien.
Yeah.
To him,
No,
that's-
it's
I
gotta
mean,
be
it
Alien Plus.
counts technically, but not by the criteria we've laid down.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Also,
I mean, maybe if you want to pick
bad
it for your
film.
birthday, I'm sure we wouldn't have a problem with that.
No, I'll just wait. It's fine. I can wait.
You know, the whole point is, there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good sci-fi movies out there, and I know that Shadow always talks about doing sci-fi, and then
The year after next year could be animated films.
oh yeah, well, see, I love
That's
that.
not a bad idea.
Because next year is rom-coms.
I am I share this channel with Shadow and everybody else, but all veto rights are left to me at the end of the day, and we will not be doing rom coms. Nor
I can't even think of one other than Princess Bride that I've ever actually watched.
Yes,
No,
I love-
actually, I saw it when Fools Rush In, and I wanted my 2 hours back within the first 5 minutes.
there's a couple. Love Actually, I like. Ron Christmas,
Yeah, well,
I enjoy, but not many. Not enough to make a year out of, at least.
fine. Then we'll do romantic period pieces like Jane Austen films and shit like that.
You know what, Justin? You can do that with your girlfriend.
Dude, how have you not hit the timeout button? Just saying, man.
There you go.
It's there for a reason.
I know. It's you know what? Justin's allowed to create his own channel to watch all of the.
I have my own channel.
You're right, Shadow. I've not put. I have the only person I've put in timeout has been Jack, only because I'm old enough to be his uncle 3 times over.
Yeah,
No,
and
I
he
think you
deserves
put
it on a regular
Shadow in
basis.
timeout before too.
He deserves it on a regular basis.
And
He's after his old man, like when I'm on Hungar's show.
And you put Omanow in timeout every time he's about to finish a sentence.
That's not me.
I don't know, but
No.
I like
I'm telling you,
the
it's all those. It's the government that just likes to watch me and just interrupt. Just long enough. They're just testing the internet kill switch. That's all.
Yeah, I do agree though with that. Only one from a series. I don't care which one,
and no Marvel movies.
but only one from a series is like
No Cape Ship.
one Star Trek movie, one Terminator movie, one Alien. Well, Aliens is weird.
Okay. We'll make an exception for that one. Only for now if it's a horror film, that's fine. But we'll make an exception for October because Alien can count in there.
I don't think we really need to. We've only got, unless somebody's absolutely, bound and determined to watch, Alien 2 or 3 or something like that.
But you can do it on your own time.
Out of order. Think about it. If you're going to watch an Alien movie for October, then it's got to be the first one.
I mean, really,
that was the whole point. Alien is not a horror movie.
Realistically, you could watch Aliens 1 and 3 and skip 2.
Why?
I mean, you could because they both,
Why would you watch 3 is the real question. Actually, I like the director's cut for 3.
Yeah,
which is better than the theatrical version.
Right. No, I agree.
I saw it in the theater and I wanted my money back.
I did too, but I watched more recently the director's cut, which adds like 40 additional minutes, and it's a lot better.
I like the audiobook.
The audiobook, the one where they were doing I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that they could have done that just gets me about it. I really wish that they had allowed, if we just went, okay. Neil Blomkamp was supposed to do Alien 5, but they didn't. But anyway, that's the whole point. Is we're really trying to get one per series. Otherwise, you're just going, either you're doing a marathon or you're missing out on a lot of movies out there. It's like,
with Aliens, it's kind of interesting. You could do one, or you could do the first one, and that answers for 1, 2, and 3, and 4 and 5, and what the fuck was I drinking? Or you could go and do the last.
Oh no. That counts as the same series, and once we watch Aliens, we can't watch them.
We'll see how this works out.
part of it is just to prevent us from doing hey guys, it's the same thing, a little bit different. But remember when Legion of Myth was just doing the year of Palladium?
Yeah.
Because they only kept doing the same thing for Palladium. Like, okay, I'm burned out. Whereas I liked what they did later, which is, hey, we'll do a system and then we'll throw in another Palladium afterwards, which is okay. But there's nothing stopping us from watching our own movies anyway. It's just like RoboCop 2 is terrible. I like some of the ideas in it, but oh my god, after watching
the third one, it was.
Yeah, the second one where they're like, "Oh, I feel so sorry for the kid." You mean the one that tried strangling you? It was just bad writing.
Oh, the nuke kid, the one that became the crime lord.
Yeah, but the whole point of where you were supposed to feel sad for him.
It's because he kept seeing his own son.
Well, no. It was the girl, but it was after he tried strangling her. No.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to feel sympathy now. At some point, I still want to go. I think this count is with this count is darn it. Justin will know the one with the 3 boobs.
Total Recall.
Total Recall.
I would love to watch Total Recall again. The first one. The original.
Yeah. I like both of them.
I didn't like the new version. I did not like that.
No
And I didn't like the new version of RoboCop either.
Oh, the new version of RoboCop was hot garbage. It was just like,
too much. But as I said, I think I'm a little bit more forgiving on films and most some people are. All right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of films I like to watch again. I'm like, guys, put your best foot forward, not the worst.
Amazon, not Amazon Prime, but I would have to buy it. I can buy Cocoon on Amazon Prime. I found a way to watch it. It's but I'm not buying a DVD that I'm going to watch maybe once.
Okay, I'm going to have to use this line because I just watched Last Starfighter. I found out where they used all of the old actors before they went to Cocoon.
Hey, what was my pick for October?
I don't know. What's yours? Event Horizon or?
Thank you. I couldn't remember the name.
Well, I mean, this is the way I kind of look at it, and you guys can correct me, but Alien, The Thing, and Event Horizon, and then I was trying to figure out like one or two more for the rest of us, and what the horror films would be.
Well, I'll throw Critters down.
Jason and Jason X, Jason in Space. It had robot and spaceships.
Yeah, but it's not really scary.
I don't know. I'm in the mood, and there's a look that Omen gets when I said, he's like, "Really, you fucker, really?"
Now Dagao or whatever.
It's like the cry of ultimate sadness from Princess Bride,
But
it's ultimate disappointment.
What's her name?
What did I get myself into? I mean, I could be doing anything on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm listening to this crap.
Well, you missed all the good parts of the show, man.
No, he's
Basically running through the questions.
so. What's your plan for this week, Shadow?
Pardon?
What's your plan for this week, Shadow?
I'm going to continue reviewing top secret books, even though I'm getting absolutely killed in the ratings because nobody gives a shit. But I'm still doing it because I've got
appreciate it.
I've just got it's like you said earlier. It's such a immense palate cleanser of all the science fiction and fantasy, and trying to see I'm playing this game where could I run this and make it work today? What would I have to do to make it work? To run an espionage game in the real world and keep it, no more sci-fi than James Bond or Austin Powers or things like that. And so far it's actually way low key. The high tech is low tech, like really low tech. That what they call high tech is like, I can go to Temu and get anything off the other than weapons. All their gear I could go to Temu and get it for 10% what the prices were listed in the 80s. There are some modules that come later that are a little bit more fanciful or what have you. But it trying to run a game where if you take like 2 bullets, you're done. That's it. 1, you still could die. 2, it's over. You make a new character.
What are we doing after RoboCop show next week?
Omenal, it's Omenal, and we're doing Flash Gordon.
Oh no! I'm asking Shadow what he's doing after the show next week.
Oh,
next Sunday? I don't know why.
Well, why don't a bunch of us make up some characters? We call that a session 0.
You know what? That is a distinct possibility because, as far as I can tell, I was really bummed, but Rick doesn't seem to have any intention of continuing the campaign we were in for various reasons. He's got some other campaigns, and I totally get it. If you're not feeling a campaign, don't run the campaign. Just like with Bo, if he doesn't have the time or the energy, don't, because you won't be happy about the results, and the players. Well, I assume most of us would be more than happy to game. If he's not feeling it, don't do it. Do you have a player's handbook?
No, I don't have any of them, but I'm pretty sure I can find them.
I know the player's handbooks free on the internet without resorting to any sort of
send a link around.
yo-ho-ery.
Yeah, I don't know if any of these guys are interested.
Omen's already got the works of a character. I think Mac, Raven, Grim, Hungar, maybe if he's listening. But I also don't want to push Hungar, but at the same time, I can
Connell?
arrange for him to show up when he's good and damn ready.
Well, not much, and until things clear up in my own personal life, I'm not doing much more than I am doing now because I don't have the brain capacity.
Okay. Okay.
All right, you doing all right?
We'll get into it later.
Oh, okay. So I'll take it as a no. Otherwise, you
No,
would just
no,
say
he-
yes.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
simple deduction. But yeah,
So yeah,
so
yeah.
I've got most of my picks, believe it or not. One, two, I've got 4 more to pick for the year because I'm just literally going favorite movies. I did put Empire Strikes Back down because it is one of my favorite movies of all time. That movie hit me as a kid. It fucked me up because I read the paperback book like weeks before I could get to the theater, and I'm just like, no, no, no. Reading it, just go at the end, just like, no. I knew exactly how Luke felt. You know, it was what was it 1979,
1980.
80?
And I know Connell didn't experience this.
So I was like 13, and
When I
yeah,
went to-
it was just like
when-
devastating.
When I went to the theater, we got there a little early. They were not that it's ever allowed by fire code. They were literally letting people sit in the aisles. The walkway aisles.
Mhm.
I went and saw it in the drive-in.
Mhm.
Just
Wow, that's a first.
He hasn't come back.
His son might be calling him because if somebody calls him, it will disrupt the feed.
He's using his phone.
I think so.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
We've done this for two hours. I'm
Yeah.
tired. Thanks everybody out there who's watched this and will watch this later on. His phone died.
Okay.
Next Sunday, we will be watching a movie based in Detroit. It will have cops. It will have robbers. It will have a robot. It should be fun.
Cyborg, technically. It will have robots though.
And it'll have an alternate reality version of Red Foreman in it.
Right.
Red Foreman.
Because in any reality, he's going to break his foot into your ass. With that being said, remember, have fun, roll some dice, and have a beer.
Party on.
Happy trails, folks.
Oh.